Hi all. This training is going to be on how to access the professional development tool in Cityspan so that you can record staff trainings. I usually do these trainings in the sample site or the demo site, but those sites don't have this module that you both have, that you all have, I should say. On either of those sites. So I'm going to be in Brian's site for the time being. Now they don't have any services. Yes, they don't have any services in this professional development tool, so we won't be exposing any of their information in this. I just wanted to give you an example of how to go about adding professional development services and then adding staff to it. I will say that this functions a lot like the group activities do. So if you have not had that training yet, or if you'd like a refresher, please check out the Cityspan training on group activities. That will give you a great background for what we're about to get into. As we can see, and as I have already said, this site doesn't have any professional development services in it, so trainings. So there are two places where we can click to add services. We can add professional development services here, or we can click here to add services. And I will pause for a second and step back and say that we are in the tab called prof.dev. That is abbreviated because professional development is a long phrase and it would have been too big to fit here and be formatted as the other tab names are. So prof.dev is where we are keeping that staff training information. So I'm going to click up here on add prof dev service. And I will call this activity name we'll call it a fake professional development activity. I'll call it 1920. Save and proceed. And let's say that this training is for content and classroom management. Or actually, no, we'll call this agency specific. Maybe this is something specific to the Boys and Girls Club. You would choose agency specific for a training that doesn't necessarily fit into like collective for youth trainings or youth work methods that you go through every year with collective for youth. Data fluency would be a training that maybe Noni, or Ann Herman has done on data integrity, or maybe the youth outcomes framework, or maybe on the youth outcomes survey, or any other type of survey. You might do that under data fluency. But this is an agency specific training for the sake of this example. And let's call this onboarding, new employee orientation. So maybe you would choose this for your onboarding, and then you would just put in the dates for whenever this occurs and make sure that you're enrolling your staff. If there's a cost associated, I put that there. If I want to include a description, I'd do that here. If I wanted to include a location, I'd do that here. These training initiatives kind of mimic how the activity categories work in group activities. So again, if you haven't seen that training, check that out, but this is just what it looks like. These categories were developed with the agencies that we partner with through Collective for Youth. So this was a group effort, but if you do find that these don't really capture what you are doing as an agency or as a site, please reach out and we can do our best to help make sure that we are categorizing things in a way that makes sense for you and for your reporting, as well as us and our reporting. So under training classifications, let's say that yes, this was required because all new staff need to be onboarded. Maybe I'll add a description onboarding for new staff. Google Chrome doesn't think onboarding is a word, but we use this word a lot, so I'm gonna leave it. Let's say that this was zero costs, is just provided by our agency. My trainer name, is Noni Williams, works for United Way of the Midlands, email, oh, you in Omaha, uwmidlands.org. And I honestly could not tell you what my work phone number is. That is not something I keep at the top of my mind. So maybe I just choose a Boys and Girls Club phone number. Save and proceed. And now our information has been added, and maybe under location, I might also, I'm just gonna put online. It just looks nice to have more information in there. And it's helpful. So as we know in group activities, we can't enroll anybody. I'll click on enrollment so we can see we can't enroll anybody until we put in a schedule. So I'm gonna go back and put in a schedule. Maybe this onboarding is available for multiple dates. Maybe it's available for the entire month of July on Wednesdays from 10 a.m. to, let's do 3 p.m. So it's a 5-hour training every Wednesday, available for staff that need to be onboarded. Add multiple dates. It's in there. Looks good. And so I will go to enrollment now. And I will just, again, with group activities, we can click in either of these places to enroll new participants. And let's see if we have program staff already in this site. If not, then I'll just go through and add some, but we talk about that in the Cityspan training about people, how to add program staff. So I'll just gloss over it if I have to do it here. You should go check out that other training for more specifics. Yeah, okay, so I'm just going to add sample staff. I'm going to add information on this person. They're a YDP, Youth Development Professional, Youth Development Worker. That's all I'm going to put in for now because I don't want to spend too much time doing it. So I go back. I'm in enrollment. I click here to enroll new participants. Again, I went through that so quickly because you should go check out the people training for more in-depth information. I just look for program staff. I now have one, my sample staff. At your site, you will likely have more. If you don't, please go through and put in all of your current staff so that you can add them to your professional development activities. This is the only one that I've added, so I'm going to choose next step. This just says it will be, the person will be enrolled according to the dates indicated, and this is just the first day that the training is available. Looks good to me. Next step, and we're done. So I'm going to click return. And now I see that my sample staff is enrolled. Again, if you have more staff and it's relevant for them to be enrolled in it, enroll them. If you're looking for a specific person, search their name when you're doing that enrollment process. And now I can put in attendance for this. My sample staff person was onboarded today, work through the training with them. I'm gonna mark them as present. And then I can click save to save and stay on this page, or I can click return, which will save and send me back out to that attendance. And now I see attendance has been recorded for today. If you want to enroll more people and they just attend the training on these other days, go ahead and do it. Not everybody has to participate in the activity on each day that is available or that it's marked under. But if you know that you have an professional development activity, if you have a training that occurs multiple times over a span of some set amount of time, it would be easiest to just put it in, especially if you know that it's going to have the same location, the same trainer, the same similar type of schedule, or you can even add dates as you go if it goes under the same name. It just saves space and time for you to go ahead and add that here. So let's say just so that I can give you a better example of what that means. Let's say I have to add another date for this activity outside of July. Like I have another group of staff to onboard. Let's say today is the end of July and I need to add another date in August for my 2 new staff that are onboarding. So I'm gonna add August 4th. It's a Tuesday, not a Wednesday. That's okay. And this training is going to take place from, maybe my trainer is available from 1 to 6 p.m. for this training. I can add this single date. Remember that this is a Tuesday and the other activities, the other days for this activity were a Wednesday and the time was completely different too, but I can still add it. So I added that single date and I click done. I can still add it and it still is a part of my schedule. And this is, I feel, the best place for me to put this because it is the same type of activity. It goes under the same name, has the same general info. I'm gonna click return so that we can see. So this activity remains the same. It's still the same onboarding for new staff. It's still online. It still is being provided by this trainer. So I would just add a new date if I needed to. And then I enroll, I add a new date if I needed to, and then I can enroll new people and make sure that they're tracked for attendance on the correct date. And that is professional development on Cityspan.